the marriage between Scott and Ariel. Today, the 12th day of October, we are about 2020, and there will be three speakers for your marriage rights because this will be a powerhouse wedding. Okay? And we want to make sure that you receive all the blessings for your union. So I'd like to introduce to you the first Reverend to speak is Reverend Dave B. Madaya.
Good afternoon. Yes, this is what you mentioned today is the day where we're about to witness the union between Scott and Rio, and which it is our desire maybe not only to make this memorable for the two of you, but even for those people who are with you today. And so we just want to make an emphasis that the basis of human society in context in the Philippines and throughout the civilized world is that of marriage, and it is not only civil contract, but it is a new relation, an institution in the maintenance of which the public is deeply interested. Consequently, every intent of the law leans toward legal matrimony in accordance with our family goals. So I hope the two of you are aware of the differences between the two of you, at least culturally, and you've known each other that much that whatever differences that might arise along the way are already settled, and you've already agreed to disagree on some matters. But regardless of those, remember that it is love that has brought you together this afternoon here, and that should always be your reference each time that you would be tempted to think that it's not worth it to be married anyway. And so, we are gathered here today to celebrate the love between Scott and Uriel, and this love that they have for each other, and even to recognize and witness their decision to journey forward in their lives as marriage partners. So the nuptial vows, which is solemnly intone the matrimonial promise of love, and that is for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part, are sometimes easier said than done. For many, a marital union figuratively ends on the reefs of matrimonial shoals, as described by one of the honorable justices here in the Philippines. But so much so, a wedding is such a wonderful occasion filled with hopes. And so it is always the long-standing desire, not only of the couple who are about to be married, but even the people who are witnessing such marriage, that that marriage would last for life. And it is also our desire that that will be your case. Marriage wherein not only will you be satisfying each other's needs, but also you will be each other's compliments. Most especially in times when one is lacking, the other should complement there too. And so it is our prayer likewise that may your love create a safe haven for you both on the journey that lies ahead of you. So lead with your hearts and take the time to do the simple things that will nurture your love, and deeply listen to each other, to your dreams and even to your frustrations. Can I ask the two of you to please look at each other? Come on. Intently, lovingly, with all compassion, sympathy, and everything in between. The reason why I'm asking you to do this now is that I want you to remember two things. Two things that I suggest and I advise that you always do every day as your way of expressing the commitment that you're about to exchange a little later. First, make sure that the face you're looking at right now will be the first face you will be looking at each morning you wake up. And secondly, make sure that the face you're gazing upon right now will be the last face you will look at before you retire to sleep. That, I think, will be the simplest way that I could advise the two of you to do in order to keep alive the commitment that you're about to exchange a little later, wherein you will be expressing the love, sharing the contentment that you have for each other, that no matter what may come along the way, still, it's the two of you in your love with each other that brought you together, and that same love will make that relationship last. And as I said a little earlier, a love that will last for a lifetime. And so, with that being said, let this be a reminder for the two of you as well, that is the simplest way that I could give you to remind you
Because there are a lot of advices that you could hear from people who would want to give you exhortations or admonitions on how to make a relationship strong. But for me, simply put, look at each other each morning and each evening before you retire to sleep. Why? Because each morning when you wake up, be thankful for each other. Ariel, whenever you look at your husband's face each morning, be thankful. Likewise, Scott, each time you look at your wife's face, be thankful as well. And then along the way within the day, definitely there will be challenges. And there might even come a time, especially when there are offenses in the previous days, months, that are not yet forgiven and haven't yet healed or forgotten. It may compound and it may add on to whatever might tempt you to think that it's not worth to be together. And so, before you retire to sleep each evening, or for whatever time you get your rest or take your rest, make sure that you will still look at the face of your spouse and be thankful nevertheless. Because the morning you look at each other, or whoever woke up earlier than the other, still has to be thankful. But then before you retire to sleep, be thankful likewise, because you are able to go through the day and still holding on to each other as husband and wife, loving each other with a strong commitment that you will always stay together. And so, not only do we pray that may you stay strong, but also always decide that each day would pass, that you will never let go of each other. This is our admonition, and this is what we look forward to the two of you, not only from this day forward, but even along the way, each day that we pass in your lives. I'm turning now.